Welcome, my beautiful bookish friends, to a very, very fun and exciting reading vlog. When I'm posting this, my previous vlog will already be up, so as you probably already know, we are going to be in Austin, Texas with 6 other book girlies tomorrow. I'm so excited. So if you haven't already watched the vlog, like from just the general entire week, then definitely go watch that. But in this video, we are going to be reading each other's favorite books. So we're doing a fun Booktubers book swap. A couple weeks ago, we all put our names in like a Secret Santa online type of thing. So I got Kalila and Natalie got me. So I'm reading Natalie's book recommendations and Kalila is reading mine. We did give each other, I believe, about 3 book recommendations and we could kind of choose however many we wanted from that. So the first one that Natalie chose for me is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. She said that this is one of her like all-time faves, go-to book recs. It's been on my TBR for so long and it's actually on my spring TBR, so this worked out perfectly. So like I said, it is the day before I leave. Today is Monday, I leave on Tuesday. I do have to get up at 4 a.m. Since we're going to Austin though, and it is like halfway across the country, it is going to be about 6.5 hours of flight time. Well, the flight time is a little bit less, but just in general, the whole day is about 6.5 hours. I'm hoping to get like most of the way through this book on my flight, because then we're also going to be reading another book that I'm very excited for, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might read the other book first and then read Part of Your World. It depends on what I'm in the mood for, because one of them's a thriller and one of them is a romance. And I kind of feel like I'm in more of a thriller mood than a romance right now. And I feel like this book would be a really fun book to read by the pool. So that might be switched actually now that I think about it. But either way, I'm going to start whatever book I read first tonight. So I will most likely update you guys probably around 5 or 7 a.m. either before or after my flight. Oh, it was way too early for me to be awake. I did not get any reading done last night. Are we surprised? No. But I did decide that I was going to start the overnight guest first. So I'm going to start that on the plane ride over there. Right now I'm just doing some morning skincare. And then I have to pack up the rest of my bathroom stuff. And then we're heading out. I will say though, my skin has been looking so good lately, which I'm very happy about because I did not want to wear like very much makeup on this trip, and now that my skin is healing up a lot, I feel like I don't have to. Which actually brings me to today's sponsor, which is Curology. A couple of weeks ago I told you guys how I was switching over to Curology for all my skincare, and let me tell ya, the results have been resulting. Is that even a word? Like, does that make sense? It's too early for my brain to form coherent sentences. I have been loving using Curology, and they were so easy to sign up with and get a simplified skincare routine and the star product, which is your RX formula, which is personalized to your specific skin needs. If you just go to their website and take their skin quiz, which is basically just a compilation of questions to help them understand your skin goals, your skin history, etc. At the end of that, you will get your own simplified skincare routine where you can add and take away products as you want. But what's super cool and awesome about Curology is that you can get a prescription formula without having to go to a dermatologist, because they do have licensed dermatology providers to give you exactly what you need, and you can even message them like throughout the month if you need to change your formulas at all or just have any skin questions in general. I also really love how I've been able to keep track of my skin updates. It's really fun and interesting to look back through like my photo album in my Curology account and just see like how far I've come, and it's even really cool to see especially like what parts of my cycle, like maybe I'm breaking out more than others. To get started with Curology, all you have to do is click the link down in my description. You can get a special offer on your first box. Thank you so much to Curology for sponsoring today's video. You guys have truly saved my skin. Now, let's pack up the rest of my bathroom stuff and get to the airport because I'm gonna be late. And then I did not start my book last night because I was trying to go to bed early, and of course I couldn't. So I'm just going to get to reading. I might take a nap on the flight to Seattle because I'm going to Seattle, and then from Seattle going to Austin. So probably, hopefully take a little nap on the flight to Seattle because I am exhausted, and I fear that if I do not take a nap, I will crash and just be absolutely delirious by the time I actually get to everybody. Trying to find a secluded corner in the airport is nearly impossible, especially in Seattle. But of course, I did not sleep on the last flight. I tried, but I just could not fall asleep. So I ended up listening to an audiobook and reading on my Kindle. So I got about, I think 30% of the way through, let me see, 27% of the way through The Overnight Guest.
B5A, Jason Theory.
And so far, I'm really liking it. It's definitely giving very much like, I don't know, mysterious. Like there's a lot of sketchy things going on. It is very interesting though because we are following like 3 different timelines and like 3 different perspectives. So we're following the present day, which is, her name is Wiley, and then we're also following back when like a specific crime happened, like I think like 15 years ago or so, and then we're also following someone that we don't even, like a little girl that we don't even know who she is. So it is a little bit confusing because we are going like in between those and we don't really know how they all connect yet, but I feel like that's where it's going to be really interesting to see, and like that's where like the plot twists are going to come out. Very excited for that. My flight is delayed. My next one is delayed, so I believe we start boarding in like 20 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if I got this book finished on this flight because I believe this is like a 4-hour flight. We'll see. I'm getting so hungry though, and it's so hard because my diet is so specific right now that I literally cannot find a single thing that I can eat. I did find these nuts, which are making do, and I did bring a few snacks, but not enough for 6 hours, so I'm going to be starving by the time that we get to Austin. I realized I also did not say what this book was about. So basically, this girl, I believe, is like going to some like secluded cabin to write a book, I think, but then there's like a really big snowstorm that happens, and then she goes outside and there's like a kid that is just like in front of her house, but he's like half frozen to death, so she like brings him in, but like quickly she learns that like things are not right, like he's being really skittish, and then there's like a car crash down the road, so there's just like very questionable things happening. I'm very, very interested to see, and especially like just like what I said before, how there's so many different POVs, and I just want to know like how they all will like tie together in the end. I'm most definitely going to finish this book by the time we get to Austin. Well, good morning, friends. Last night, I'm trying to remember the last time that I updated you guys with a reading update. I think it was at the airport before I flew to Austin. And what was I? I think I was at like 40%. So I finished the book on that flight. I'm very proud of myself because now I get to go into the second book, which I'm very, very excited for. But the first book, The Overnight Guest, I liked it. I think I'm going to give it like a 3 point. I'm like teetering between 3.5 and 3.75 because like I really enjoyed it, and I liked the way it was done, but it wasn't anything like that really stood out to me, and it wasn't really anything that really like shocked me, but I really liked the way that it was done. So like I said before, in this book we are following kind of like 3 different POVs and like 3 different timelines in a way, and I feel like the way that they all came together at the end was very well done, but I did kind of like see everything coming for the most part. I thought the atmosphere was really fun. I love like snowstorm thrillers, like ones where you're like stuck in a specific spot. I just find that they always like add a whole new level of like thrill to books. Also, if I end up like not forming coherent sentences, it's because I literally have only gotten like 2 hours of sleep the last 2 nights, and I'm unwell. But today we are going to downtown Austin, so I probably won't be reading a whole lot until later on in the day. I am gonna grab Natalie in a little bit so I can get like her thoughts, and so we can chat about the book that I just read, because I think so when we chose books for each other, we're doing like our favorite books, we're also doing like a book that we feel like is underhyped. We kind of just chose like different books for our picks. So I think that The Overnight Guest was one of the picks that she did for like an underhyped thriller, and then the other book that I'm gonna read, which is Part of Your World, is like one that is like her go-to like favorite book recommendation. Hello my reader friends. I cannot remember when I updated you guys last. I think it was when I had like given you guys my final thoughts on the last book that I read. So now I'm finally starting Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Me and the girls are about to just like spend the next hour. We've been so bad about actually reading our books. We've been like so busy doing other things that we were literally like, we need to sit down and like put a timer on and read for an hour with no talking, like just purely sitting here invested in our books, because we have gotten like no reading done. So I'm already chilling out here, and then everyone else is gonna come out here in a minute, and we're gonna do that. And then I think after that we're gonna go down to Georgetown, like downtown Georgetown, and go to the bookstore, which I'm very excited for. I did get 4 books already, and I feel like that's enough for this trip, but You never know. And like I said, I did pre-plan buying books for this trip before I went on my book bag ban. But then again, I go on another trip literally in like a week and a half that I know I'm gonna buy a book for too because it's my birthday. Silly girl. My girls! I was gonna say, after your workout, like jumping in the pool, it's gonna be so nice. I'm literally so inspired by your like motivation. I wrote like all like little letters for everybody like when we came, and I was literally saying like Shaughnessy's literally like her work ethic and her like your determination and like I don't even know the words. You just are literally like she's such an inspiration, and like I literally am like I want to be you when I grow up. You're literally like woman of the year, the one I aspire to be. So we're here with the star of the show.
Hello.
So Natalie picked my books, Part of Your World and The Overnight Guest. So I just finished The Overnight Guest. Okay, like why did you pick that one and like what did you think about it?
Okay, I just thought like I feel like a lot of thrillers are very similar, and when I read that one, it really stood out to me. So I thought it'd be one you would like, and you also had it on your TBR.
I did.
So I was like, that's perfect.
Yes.
And the author is from Iowa, where I'm originally from. So I just like connected with her. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
I thought it was so cool, like the setting, just where I grew up. So I love that, and I wanted you to read it.
Is it in Iowa?
Yeah. The setting is in Iowa.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, that is so cool. Okay, yeah. So I loved the way that like it was different like POVs and timelines, but we didn't even know exactly who was who.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, exactly.
Like I thought that was so interesting because that's something that I haven't really seen done well in thrillers, and I feel like that was like done so well.
Yes.
So that was so much fun. Okay, so for Part of Your World, I know you said it's like one of your favorite like go-tos.
One of my favorites. Yeah.
Yes. Explain.
I just love Abby Jimenez. I think her writing is so well done. Like she's really safe with the way she does words and characters, and she's really intentional like with the way she builds them and all their surroundings and like who they are as people. And I feel like that's fitting for you. Like you love like a character that like I don't know is so safe
More
and
like
everything. And representative.
Yes.
So I thought that would be perfect for you, and she's just the best.
I'm so excited. I've never read an Abby Jimenez book, so this is like going to be my first like dabbling into her writing.
You're gonna be hooked.
Yes, I fear that this is going to be in my new like Roman Empire.
Yes, 100%.
Obsessed.
No, so good. Her family's like renowned surgeons, so they want her to follow in that path, and she's like, this is not for me. It's not going to make me happy and fulfill me.
Yeah.
So she meets him, obviously, and she experiences his small town and falls in love with it, and falls in love with the people, and she would just rather be happy in her heart than follow that path. It's so sweet.
Wait, that is so sweet.
No, it really is.
So it's basically her like not conforming to like what's expected of her and like learning to live for herself, basically. So our 1 hour of reading time is up, and I literally am so proud of myself. I read 50 pages. I feel like I'm reading this book very fast, which is lovely for me. Also, 50 pages in, and I am absolutely obsessed. Obsessed. Like 5-star potential for sure, which is what I've been needing. So this book could not have come in a better time. So the man in this book, I'm obsessed with him. First of all, he has a baby goat in pajamas. Say less. And he's so sweet. Small town. Say less. I'm obsessed. I love the writing. Absolutely love the writing. It's funny. Like I've giggled already, but it also has like emotional depth, which I love. Like the balance between those two is phenomenal. I called it before. I fear this is going to be my new Roman Empire. If this doesn't end up being a 5-star, I will be truly and utterly shocked. But now we are going to go back down to like Georgetown and go to the bookstore, like I said earlier. So I'm so excited for that. Such a weird angle because there's literally nowhere else to go, and I do not have my tripod out, but I did get, okay, hear me out.
I did get really sleepy on the flight, so I didn't actually like read all that much, but I did get another like few chapters in. I have to get my Kindle out and see where I left off. I also got an Italian soda. It's so weird. I literally could not find an Italian soda anywhere. So I had to like buy a sparkling water and then I have to like a coffee shop like put syrup in it. But I brought my All Things Lily-Ann like koozie. So I got my Italian soda. I've got my koozie to keep my fingers warm and we're having a good time. But going into my book, let me see where I got. So I'm now on page 140, which is 36% of the way through. So I'm hoping to get another, I think it's like an hour and a half-ish flight back to my hometown. So I'm hoping to get another like 50 or so pages read. And I think if I remember correctly, this book is like a little bit over 300 pages. So that'll put me like at a decent way through. So far I am still really liking it. There are some things that I'm getting kind of annoyed about, but I don't really want to say those things in public because it's kind of weird. They're just talking a lot about this stuff and it's just like they keep saying the same things like over and over, like how good it is. And that's like all they're talking about. And I'm like, okay, I know, like I love how like sweet this man is and I love how like good they go together already after only knowing each other and like meeting 2 times. But I literally feel like all they're talking about right now is this. I don't know I don't know how to feel about it, but I am still really liking the way that the story's going, and I am like still really enjoying her writing. So I will update you guys when I get home.
I feel like my camera's doing weird things right now, but I am now on chapter 31 of Part of Your World. I am listening to the audiobook right now while I make dinner. So I have an hour and 5 minutes left. I don't really know like what percentage that puts me at, but I'm almost done with it. And I am loving this book still, absolutely loving it. Except for there are still a few things that are bothering me. I really hate the whole like expiration date when it comes to relationships, like going into something knowing that it has like an expiration date, even though like we obviously know they're gonna end up together. But still, I just don't really like the way that she's like treating the relationship, even though I understand like where she's coming from. I also really hate how she just has like absolutely no faith in like the relationship lasting. Like you're telling me that you could find absolutely no way to make it work, especially if you're like falling in love with this guy. I don't know. I just feel like he's too good for that. He deserves better. But I do also like, I've really loved watching her kind of like break off her way of living and like learn to do things for herself and learn to like live in a way that like she wants to live, as well as not letting like other people control her life. I really love her personal growth in this book. And I also feel like I have related to and understood a lot of the things that she said surrounding like abusive relationships. Like I've said before, I do tend to like avoid that topic in books, but we didn't like see it happen, you know, like it's like the aftermath, and it's not even like really touched on like in detail, so it doesn't really bother me. And I actually really like the way that it was incorporated into this book in 2 different ways actually. I absolutely love all of the characters in this book. I just love a good like small town vibe where like everybody takes care of everybody's family. It's so sweet and wholesome. I'm very excited to see the way that this ends, although I swear if there is like a 3rd act breakup or some kind of like conflict that is so unnecessary, I'm gonna be mad. Hey guys, I finished this book. I loved it. I loved it. I will say there were like a few things that kind of irritated me about this book, but for the most part, I had a great time. First of all, exactly how Natalie said earlier, this book just feels like so cozy and safe, and like the way that she writes her characters and situations, like it doesn't feel very like scary or intimidating, or like the situations that they're in are like real life situations, and I feel like that in other books has been kind of hard to do in a way that feels safe. I don't even know how to like describe that other than that, if that makes sense. But yes, I just loved the way, with our female main character, I feel like she went through a lot of personal growth, which I love to see. I will be completely honest, I really got irritated by our female main character at certain points, because I understand that like it's the way that she grew up and it's like the way that she was conditioned to think and act, but I just feel like it's kind of common knowledge that some things, you know, like take priority over others, and like some things are just more important than other things. And I don't know. I didn't really like the way that she treated Daniel and the way that she like treated their relationship at first, but I know that's because of just how her life has been up until this point. So like I don't
fault her for it. It's just, it was irritating to read about. Daniel Grant is top 3 book boyfriends. I fear he has moved up to that spot. And I just absolutely adored him with all of my heart, with all of my being. I love this man. I'm giving this book a 4.75. I wanted to give it a 5-star, but I just couldn't get over like the irritation that I felt sometimes. And I also feel like they talked about sex like a lot. It isn't like the most spicy book, but they just talk about sex a lot. Like they talk about like how good it is. And I swear in like 2 chapters back to back, I'm pretty sure they said like, oh, and the sex is so good, at least like 5 times. Like, I got it the first time. I get it, okay? You don't have to like keep saying it. And I just personally don't like spice really anyway, so, but I know like that's a me problem, you know? So, loved this book. 10 out of 10 recommend. I am now extremely excited to go into some of Abby Jimenez's like other books because I've heard basically nothing but good things about most of them. Although I will say I don't think I'm going to read Yours Truly because I heard that that does have a lot of miscommunication, and that is like my biggest book ick is miscommunication. I feel like I would just be very irritated in that book, so I might just skip it. But that does conclude this reading vlog. We had some fun and good reads. Both of them have been on my TBR for a while, so I'm glad to get like part of my TBR knocked off as well. I feel like it's always the books that we put off the longest on our TBRs that end up being some of our favorites. Love that for me. Make sure to keep an eye out for all the other Book Girlies book swap videos. Lots of fun content to be waiting for and keeping an eye out for. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah!